Ida Cawthorn and Rain Whispers, all by the ship name Radar, are two characters in a romance plot that was introduced in the Owl House Season 2 that's both heartfelt and compelling, but also heartbreaking and tragic. We'll be exploring the story of their relationship so far, a tale of a lovely pairing between two people who deserve each other, but are kept apart due to unfortunate circumstances. Anyway, I guess the best place to start is at the very beginning. So in the episode, Them's the Breaks Kid, where there's a flashback that shows how Ida and Rain first met in their early teens at the Instructing Future Witches of Tomorrow program. You have Ida, a talented yet rambunctious kid, whose wild antics leave her with no real friendships aside from her sister Lilith. And then you have Rain, who, like Ida, doesn't really have any friends due to being socially awkward and a bit of a nervous wreck around crowds of people. However, they're also very talented and confident in their magical abilities. When these two characters first met, there was instant chemistry.
Always the same boring activities, same boring faces.
Till whittle ol' me?
Yeah.
And what makes the two of them bonding all the more touching is the fact that they're both social outcasts. So for each of them to finally find someone that they can connect with is amazing. From there, the two of them will go on to become a dynamic duo that works perfectly in sync with each other. And when Rain transferred to Hexside, their relationship would continue to blossom, eventually becoming a lovely romance. However, sadly, this wouldn't last, as they would eventually break up and follow different paths in life. We are given a glimpse of how their relationship ended in the episode Knock Knocking on Hootie's Door, where after consuming a sleep spell, Ida is forced to relive her worst memories, including the one where Rain breaks up with her. Sadly, it appeared that the couple had developed communication problems, as when Ida's curse starts acting up, Rain tries to reach out to her and help, only for her to shut them out, fearing that it will drive them away, as in her mind, the owl curse ruined her relationship with her father due to the guilt she feels for causing him to lose his eye during one incident where the curse took over her. However, refusing to open up to Rain only put a massive strain on the relationship between her and them, and at some point, Rain just couldn't take it anymore, leading to them to make the difficult decision to break up with her.
You're lying again. It's like I don't really know you. So, I've made a decision.
No, I hate this part.
I think we should see other people. I'm sorry, Ida. It's over.
What makes this scene all the more heartbreaking is seeing a regretful present-day Ida desperately plead to her younger self to tell Rain the truth about the curse, and to let them help her.
Just tell them. Let them help. Stop pushing them away.
But alas, this is just a memory of something that happened in the past, which can't be changed. That is, unless Ida uses both time folds to travel back in time and fix things, but let's forget about that for now and focus on the subject at hand. Anyway, what makes Ida and Rain's breakup even sadder is the fact that Ida just lost the last close relationship she has, due to her strange relationships with her parents and sister, and at this point, she has no one left. From this point, Ida will go nowhere in her life. That was until she found an adopted king, and then later met Lucina Cedar, and took her in as a student, and will go on to develop a mother-daughter bond with her. Suddenly, she once again has love and purpose in her life in being a mother figure to these two. However, it soon appears to Ida in her perspective that her relationships with Luz and Keen wouldn't last, as Luz is trying to find a way back to the human realm in order to reunite with her mom. Meanwhile, Keen is trying to seek out his long-lost family. Because of this, Ida starts to believe that she's going to be all alone once again. That is until she encounters Rain once again after many years in the episode Ida's Requiem, and learns that they have formed a rebellion group against Emperor Belos. Now having reunited with her old flame, Ida eagerly joins Rain's rebellion, and despite the two of them breaking up all those years ago, it is evident that they both still love each other and have a chance to repair their old relationship. But then the two of them encounter some trouble when a mission for the rebellion goes horribly wrong, and Ida and Rain find themselves up against two coven heads in a life or death battle. There is a way to defeat them, however, as throughout the episode, Ida finds that she can still use barb magic. However, due to the curse, everything surrounding her starts to disintegrate, and things get extremely dark, as both Ida and Rain could die right there if they continued their duet. However, believing that she will have nothing left once Keen and Luz are gone, Ida decides that she's willing to sacrifice her life for the rebellion's cause, with Rain willing to commit to this as well. Though, I got sidetracked here for a bit and mention just how absolutely beautiful this music is. And this, combined with these gorgeous visuals, along with the heavy subject matter, makes this scene one of the most emotionally powerful moments in the entire series. However, during this sequence, Rain sees a photo of Ida with Luz and Keen, and immediately ceases the music, asking if those two are her children. And then finally, Ida opens up to Rain and tells them about how Luz and Keen are seeking out their real families, along with the fears that the two of them will end up leaving her for good. But Rain then encourages Ida not to give up on Luz and Keen so easily, stating that they probably need her more than she realizes. They also state that the two of them can find another way to fight the Emperor without sacrificing themselves. This is such an incredible moment where Rain puts Ida's happiness first, regardless of the rebellion's cause, which really shows how much they love and care for her. However, this touching moment is sadly short-lived, as the two of them get attacked by the Common Head Darius, and Rain willingly gives Ida the chance to escape to return to Luz and Keen at their own expense, once again showing how much care they have for her. The relationship between Ida and Rain in this episode is truly beautiful, even though it once again ends in heartbreak. However, there is a silver lining to these tragic circumstances. As it turns out, Rain was right about Luz and Keen still needing Ida, as it turns out that despite seeking out his original family, Keen has decided to legally change his name to King Quathorn, officially becoming a part of Ida's family, since she was the one who raised him since he was a baby. This is such an incredibly moving moment in an otherwise harrowing episode. But just imagine how devastated King would be if he found out that Ida just sacrificed herself right after becoming a part of her family. So the next chapter in Raida's story begins in the episode Follies at the Common Day Parade. And I tell you, waiting another 4 episodes, including a hiatus, to see what happens next with these two was not easy on the heart. Anyway, we learned in this episode that since the events of Ida's Requiem, Ida had hired a private detective to spy on Rain so that she can know whether or not they're safe. However, the information gathered on them indicates that they are still working for Emperor Belos, which doesn't make any sense since they had formed a rebellion against him. And so, Ida and Luz form a plan to rescue Rain, which succeeds. Except for the fact that they appear to be brainwashed by some magical tea, causing them to lose their memory of forming the rebellion and their reunion with Ida, and now they want nothing to do with her. And what follows is a truly intense battle between the two of them, and the heartbreak in Ida's facial expressions and voice as she tries to get through to Rain makes the whole ordeal all the more harrowing. Anyway, the fight ends on a depressing note, with Rain letting Ida escape after the common guards could be heard approaching the scene, but they tell her not to contact them again. However, once Ida leaves, Rain sheds a tear, indicating that they still love Ida, despite everything they said to her this episode. However, the story doesn't end there, as a later episode will add more context to everything that happened between Ida and Rain in Follies at the Common Day Parade. In the final scene of the episode, Den's the Break Kid, Rain is once again given the tea that's supposed to brainwash them. However, it's revealed that they've been altering the potion with their magic, causing it to have no effect on them. So this whole time, Rain had just been pretending to be brainwashed, while continuing their plans to rebel against the Emperor, even managing to get 2 fellow Common Heads on board, both Subine, Darius, and Eberwolf. You know, the 2 witches that Rain and Ida almost killed in Ida's Requiem, so that's a little ironic. It is also revealed why Rain pretended that they were brainwashed in their encounter with Ida at the Common Day Parade. Apparently, they don't want to involve Ida in the rebellion anymore in order to keep her safe.
I told you, I'm not putting her in danger again. We'll figure something else out. I'll keep you safe, Ida. I promise.
This does make sense, as since Rain is still needed for the Day of Unity, they were only going to get brainwashed, but since they were able to avoid that, they pretty much got away without any consequences. However, if Ida got captured, she'd suffer a worse fate. Belos would likely attempt to petrify her again, or give her some other horrific punishment. Still though, it's extremely sad that Rain feels that they had to lie to Ida in order to keep her safe, and this revelation makes their encounter with her at the Common Day Parade all the more heart-wrenching, as you can just imagine how painful their emotional turmoil was, as they forced themselves to pretend to have no memory of their reunion with Ida, especially when she plays a recording of their duet of Ida's Requiem.
Did you forget this, too?
Why won't you just leave me alone?
And that's the whole story of Raida so far as I'm writing the script to this video. And in just a handful of episodes, The Owl House depicts a beautiful yet heart-wrenching romance between 2 people who deserve each other, but have multiple tragic factors that keep them apart. At this point in the series, the story of Ida and Rain could end in one of 2 ways. Either it'll come to a tragic end where one of them dies, allowing for only one last moment for the 2 of them to be together, where they admit their love for each other while savoring one last loving embrace. fate. Or perhaps they'll defy the odds and finally get the happy ending they deserve after all the trials and heartache. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out, though I'm optimistic about the latter scenario happening. And that was my video on the tragic tale of Raider. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like and comment. Also, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications. Also consider pledging to my Patreon if you're interested in supporting this channel. Well, I got nothing else to say, so see ya.